Hello, this is Gummy. Welcome back to our quick look series at Marvel Heroes. We are looking at Cyclops today. As always, what we are doing is taking a look at all of the powers, to show you how they work and how they feel, so you're better informed when you're buying a new hero, or when you're looking on how to do your build and spend your points. So, we're going to go over all of Cyclops' powers, starting with the optic beams. Actually, I forgot to do one thing. Alright, we're going to start with the optic beams. First is Optic Blast. Critical hit damage rating increased. Or not critical hit damage, critical damage rating is increased. And damage against slowed enemies. It also goes through and hits enemies that are behind. This is a basic power. You have Optic Beam, which is a channel. Now, everyone has one of these in some shape or form. Then you have Explosive Blast, which is your AoE. That makes enemies take more damage, so it gives them makes them vulnerable. Next you have the Shotgun Beam. Well, as you can see, first I should say the Explosive Blast has no cooldown. You just hold it down. Then you have Shotgun Beam. It does damage to the area right in front of you. It's not the best. It makes them do less damage, but if you're running a Punch Cyclops, it gives you a buff to your melee. And the damage isn't that bad for 1 point, because he has always no items except for the costume. Okay, the next one is the Focus Beam. This does a lot of damage really quickly. Extra damage based on your attack speed. So it hits 4 times a second. So basically, it hits someone holds on to them. And then you have a DOT passive, so it does even more damage. You have Tactical Disengage, which is one of these things, where you roll away from the direction you're facing. Still not sure the use of them. You have Optic Devastation. It's right here. It's one of the higher level skills. Does a lot of damage and does knockdown. It is his old ultimate. It was his old signature type. It's very good. It used to be a chargeable, but it's now just a one-shot for a 5-second cooldown. Again, it's really good one-shot. It can just waste whole areas. And then arguably his best skill, the Ricochet Beam. Just hold down the button to win. Okay, the next we have the Fighting Expertise. That's the Punch Cyclops. We have, I should at least tell you what that does. No cooldown and can bounce up to 9 targets. That's all it really does. Okay. It gives you physical damage, gives you defense rating increase, and it weakens them so they deal less damage. That's Cyclops doing the really, really weird kicks. Hammer kick, punch, roundhouse, and an optic blast. You have the combat roll, the rolling, and you have the motorcycle, which is they see me rolling, they hatin', which has a really good turn radius. Look at that. I actually don't like this movement power since it doesn't have the benefits of the flight, and it's a bit slow. So I prefer to combat roll around, because look how fast you can get around with that. You just have to spam the buttons though. And then you have the evasive roll, which gives you a dodge rating, and that is this. Roll into the side. If you want to pretend you're in high roll again. I should say the combat roll also gives you a massive dodge rating. Okay, then back to powers, we have Sweeping Kick. Does damage, makes them take more damage, knocks them down, and increases your damage rating. And there is no cooldown on that. As you can see, it's actually a 3-hit combo. Then lastly we have Tactical Kicks. They take more damage. It has a higher crit damage rating. And it looks like this. For some reason Cyclops doing kicks, but giving us an old-fashioned Mortal Kombat jump kick in there, which is pretty cool. And lastly, we have the coolest part of Cyclops, the team tactics. So you have 3 debuffs, or buffs. You have Master Tactician. Passive is more XP. It makes them vulnerable and weakens them. So if you don't want to use one of the powers that does that naturally, you can just take that and do it all to an area, which is probably the best option. You have Overwatch, basically damage buff, and revives the nearest ally with a high cooldown, 45 seconds, but it revives someone instantly. It's a 1-point skill. Then you have Force Multiplier. You don't want to use its active because its active ability is basically crowd control duration or crowd control immunity. But it's passive. It's damage for strike team powers, energy damage, crit hit rating, projectile deflection chance, and dexterity. So it's really good to have points into that. Just never use it. Then we have the strike team. You have 4 strike teams. You have Angel, Beast, Iceman, and Jean. They all share the same cooldown. And I can show you how they work. So first we have Angel. Comes in, hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes down, hits 4 times with physical damage. It's not bad. It's not the best in the world. But if you're running a Punch Clops and you want the physical synergy, it works for that. Next you have Beast. He does physical damage twice a second, and bleed. As you can see with that little demonstration, Mr. Cat Beast comes in, rolls by, and leaves. But he leaves his mark. The next one is Jean. She does energy damage and then DOT, which is damage over time. See, the problem with Jean is while it's quick and comes in and does the damage fast, it stops you from doing anything else, since you have to interact with it. So while it's cool and it's powerful, it stops you from doing what you need to do, and a lot of people don't like it because of that. The one they tend to like due to the energy synergy is Iceman. Does the hit, damage over time, and slows them. And lastly, I will show, well, first we'll go over the passives. Let me just double check. Yes, so there is one passive. You have, no, hold on. Right here, martial arts, defense rating, and damage rating for melee. And then you have by the numbers, spear when you're not using a spear, it's spending power, so basic powers. It gives a dodge rating. It gives you spirit when you dodge. Gives you a chance to add that DOT. That adds 1221 twice per second, and it gives you endurance, so it's not bad to have. And I forgot to show you the signature, which I will show you right here. This used to be the ultimate. And wow, my finger slipped on the button. So what I will do is I'll go show you the ultimate, and then we can look at the signature once it's redone. So this is the ultimate. To me, my X-Men, it basically pulls in the team as summons. You can see Iceman and Angel hit once or twice, and they're gone. Jean stays there. She does her signature, and then hits, and Beast stays and hits. As you can see here, she does her signature. Angel does a flyby. Iceman freezes them, and Beast comes in and actually acts as a summon. The initial explosion is what does most of the damage. It can actually do up to 1,000,000. Here, and it summons for 15 seconds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a key that doesn't slip and show you the signature. And that's the visor off signature. It's damage twice per second. It negates damage while channeling, and max channels for 5 seconds. Well, that is Cyclops. I thank you for joining me. And just so I can show you, this is how Ricochet Blast actually looks on a leveled up Cyclops. To show you just how good can be. And there you go. That's the target's dying with those explosions. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy these videos, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.